Hi friends, welcome to our Day 5 Current Affairs. The first news is the double burden of malnutrition, need for urgent policy action. India facing the double burden of both undernutrition and overnutrition. India is facing both the problems. One is overnutrition and one is undernutrition. About 10% of children under 19 years having pre-diabetes. It is one of the consequences of overnutrition. Coming to malnutrition, malnutrition according to the World Health Organization refers to deficiencies, excesses or imbalances in person's intake of energy or nutrients. Programs and policies in India. This is important because sometimes in some exams they may ask about the programs related to malnutrition or overnutrition. These are programs related to malnutrition. That is, one is Poshan Abhiyan, India's National Nutrition Mission, Anemia Mukt Bharat, Eat Right India movement. And what are the challenges of overnutrition in India? The comprehensive National Nutrition Survey data reveals the worrying trend of the conditions of the overweight, obesity, and even early non-communicable diseases becoming challenges even to children. As I said that about 10% of children under 19 years have pre-diabetes. This challenges the notion that overnutrition is a challenge for only adults. You can see here the malnutrition guys, and here you can see the overnutrition guy. Second one, 171 hospital delisted from PM's health scheme after fraud. The one of the best health scheme now in India, which is Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana, PMJAY, seen so many frauds in its implementation. While we come to some background of Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana, the Ayushman Bharat Yojana, National Health Protection Scheme, which has now been renamed as Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana, plans to make secondary and tertiary healthcare completely cashless. It is a scheme that aims to help economically vulnerable Indians who are in need of healthcare facilities. Actually, this is depends upon states. Some states are using this scheme, some states are not using. Um, West Bengal is strictly opposing this scheme and it is not following. The PM Jan Arogya Yojana beneficiaries get an e-card that can be used to avail services at an empaneled hospital, public or private, anywhere in the country. With it, people can walk into a hospital and obtain cashless treatment. The insurance cover provided under PMJAY health insurance scheme is rupees 5 lakhs. You can remember this. Sometimes in some state competitive exams, you can get a question that what is the limit of amount that provides Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana scheme, health insurance scheme. Okay. So they have seen a fraud in the situation in this scheme. So what are the measures taken? Given the significance of the scheme and it involving a large amount of money, several measures were introduced to avoid fraud and leakage of benefits. A comprehensive set of anti-fraud guidelines has been in place since the launch of the scheme. There is a provision of pre-authorization for most packages. All claims require mandatory supporting documents before approval and payment. Almost all states have dedicated anti-fraud units. And the states which have seen so much fraud is Gujarat, Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh and Punjab were among the states where frauds were detected at different stages of implementation of Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana. Okay. Coming to third news, Kerala to take more cover under Miyawaki Forest. What is this Miyawaki Forest? It is a Japanese-based technique. Uh, Here he is the person Miyawaki, and the procedure means the scenery. We can see how the Miyawaki Forest will be there. Background: Miyawaki Forest is a highly successful technique pioneered by Japanese botanist Akira Miyawaki. He is the person. By promoting natural vegetation and land destroyed by natural calamities and due to human activity along the Japanese coastline, Miyawaki managed to raise mini forests. The concept involves raising indigenous and native trees in dense plantations, mimicking forest settings. It involves the preparation of the substrate if the land involved is much degraded. Means what the substrate here it means, the if land is degraded, it is not enough nutrition. So we should prepare the substrate, means the top level of land, to be useful for plantation. It promotes natural vegetation on degraded land. This is about Miyawaki Forest. It is one of the important topic if you come to some ecology point of view and environment. One more thing. Is West Asia headed for war? This is basically the news about US and Iran. The context is the US killing Iranian Major General Qasim Soleimani in an airstrike. Background: tensions between Iran and the US have been steadily escalating, with Washington pulling out of the Iran nuclear deal and tightening sanctions and Tehran resuming nuclear activity. There has been an increasing frequency of flashpoints in the Gulf, like the attacks on the ships and the oil tankers, shooting down of drones, and attack on Saudi oil refineries. Reasons behind the drone attack: attack on US Embassy. The latest escalation came in the backdrop of the attack on the US Embassy in Baghdad, Iraq, after US air raid on a Shia parliamentary group trained and funded by the Iranians, killing at least 25 members. Soleimani was the commander of the Quds Force, the external intelligence and security of the elite Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps (IRGC). General Soleimani was practically the commander of the Kataib, Hezbollah, and other Shia militants operating in Iraq, thought to be behind the attack on the US Embassy. This making the situation worse between the US and Iran. Why has the US crippled the functioning of WTO? This news is from last year also. It was in news because US is not entertaining the world WTO by not appointing the new members. Context: the US decisions making the World Trade Organization's appellate body dysfunctional. Background: in December 2019, the US cut short its share of the funding to the WTO. This move has resulted in the shortage of funds for the appellate body of WTO to function. The US has also stalled the selection process for filling 6 vacancies at the appellate body by virtue of the veto power it enjoys in the appointment process. This leader started the news so much about the WTO, the appointment of filling 6 vacancies. Consequently, the appellate body is left with only one member who will not be able to deliver any rulings on pending trade disputes, since a quorum of 3 members is required to adjudicate any dispute. So 3 members are required here, but at present there is only one member, so they can't deliver any rulings. The US has paralyzed the World Trade Organization's appellate body, which acts as an adjudicating body for any disputes in the international trade. By not appointing, it completely paralyzed the WTO appellate body. Details: dispute settlement at WTO. How the dispute settlement will be happen at WTO? Given the increasing global trade and an increasing number of disputes in such trade, a binding two-stage dispute settlement system was established at the World Trade Organization in the 1990s. The appellate body, consisting of 7 standing members, forms an important part of the dispute settlement system of the WTO. Okay. Coming to 6th news, which is about research in India. The Professor C.N.R. Rao said that research in India inadequate. C.N.R. Rao, one of the foremost chemists, you can see him here, in India, has stated that neither the quality nor quantity of publications that come out of India is adequate. The recent numbers show that India has climbed to the 3rd position globally in the number of peer-reviewed science and engineering publications. It is also growing at a rate about 10% as compared to the global average of 4%. But a cause of concern has been the low citation rate, which is important for publication, but in India it is neglecting. Several studies of publication trends have shown that India's share in the world research output hovers around 5%, but the rate of citations, the number of times these articles are cited and used as a proxy for quality, is much lower at 2 to 3% only. So what he is saying that there is increase in publications, but the citation rate is not improved in such a way that which uh, shows the inefficiency of the publication papers. Now, last news for today is hot and dry down under. It is about Australia bushfires. Australia is experiencing an unprecedented drought fuel bushfire crisis. You can see last year bushfire happened. Drought fuel bushfire crisis that has burnt swaths of land across the continent over the last few months. 2019 has been Australia's hottest and driest year, which has made it more vulnerable to the bushfires. There has been a rise of 1 degree Celsius in Australia's temperature since 1910. This is our last news. Thank you very much. We'll meet again tomorrow with our tomorrow current affairs. Thank you very much.